Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another What's for Dinner video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kristi. I'm currently following the WW Blue program, but I do provide the points for all three programs on my channel, and I am trying to start giving calories in my videos as well. So I would love to have you as part of our little family here, so I'd love it if you consider subscribing. So in today's video, it is going to be another What's for Dinner video. If you've watched me for some time, you know that I don't eat pasta a whole lot, but there are times where I just feel like having pasta. And tonight is one of those nights. So I am going to be making a baked spaghetti tonight. I have not made baked spaghetti in a long time. And honestly, I don't think I've made it like a healthy version of it. When I've made baked spaghetti before, it's really fattening. So I'm gonna throw this together. I've plugged it into the tracker. The way that I've come up with it is gonna be 5 points on purple and 8 points on blue and green. And then for calories, if you're counting calories, it comes out to 285 calories. Again, as I always say, that is based on the brands that I use, so make sure to plug it in yourself to account for any differences in brands. The first thing I'm going to be using is this 100% whole grain pasta. I'm going to go ahead and get that going on my stove. I've got some water over here that I have getting to a boil. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I have a glass dish that I've sprayed with some cooking spray. This is one way that I had cut down a little bit. When I used to make baked spaghetti, I would take a stick of butter and just put that butter all in the bottom of this baking dish. But now I'm going to use some cooking spray. I have my water going and I added a little bit of salt. The next thing that I do is just crush a garlic clove, and I put that right in the water. You don't have to do that. We like a lot of garlic flavor, so that's why I do that. So I'm just going to chop it up a little bit and just throw that right in my water. And while I'm at it, I'm going to chop up this other one because I'm going to use this in the recipe. The next things, let me go through real quick while my water is finishing getting to a boil here. We're going to need some fat-free half and half. I'm going to use about 1/4 cup of that. I'm going to actually mix that in with the garlic, and also I'm mixing in a whole container of this Asiago Laughing Cow cheese. If you don't have the Asiago flavor, you can use whatever flavor you want. I'm also going to use 2 cups of part-skim mozzarella. I'm using Publix brand. I'm going to use 24 ounces of Prego Traditional. If you want to lower the points even more, you could use some type of like 0-point marinara. We really like this for our pasta, so that's what I'm using. And I'm also going to use a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, which again, you could cut down the points a little bit if you were to cut down on that as well, probably. So the other thing I'm using is this Never Any Country Style Chicken Breakfast Sausage. I get this at Aldi. Just make sure that you don't get the one that says maple, because that does have more points. These ones are 1 point for a link. I am going to use all 7 links in this recipe. So I'm using this whole box of pasta. As soon as my water finished coming to a boil, I'm going to put that in there. You can either break your pasta if you want. For the baked spaghetti, I like to leave it whole. So for this, I'm just going to chop this up into pieces. If you wanted to have this even lower points, if you are on blue or purple, you could just use some ground turkey breast, which would be 0, or even some ground chicken breast, you know, some type of 0 point. I wanted a little bit of, I don't know, kind of like spice in mine, so that's why I'm using the chicken sausage. I'm just going to go through and cut that into little pieces. All right, so I'm gonna get my pasta going. I'm gonna cook this for about 10 minutes. This is gonna go in the oven after, so you don't have to actually cook it the full amount that it says on the box if you don't want, because it's gonna bake after. So now I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes and let that get cooking. So now while the pasta's going, I'm gonna get the cheese going, and hopefully the sound of that boiling in the background isn't too loud. So now what I'm gonna do is just put all these cheese wedges into a bowl, and I'm going to mix in 1/4 cup of the fat-free half and half with it. right, so now I'm gonna put that in the microwave for I'm probably gonna do about 20 seconds and then just stir it up and then put it in for another 20 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna put it back in for another 20. I've had it in there for a total of 40, but it's not quite melted the way I want it. It's getting there. So I'm gonna put it back in for another 20. Okay, so now just try and go through and just stir it until it's nice and creamy. And I'm also gonna add in the garlic. And I'm gonna add in half of the Parmesan. All right, so I've got a half a cup, so I'm gonna add about half of that. And then I'm gonna just add some pepper and just a little bit of salt. I didn't add a lot of salt because of the cheese that has salt in it, so I'm just adding a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna set that aside and wait for the spaghetti to get done. Okay, after the spaghetti is done, I don't rinse my spaghetti. A lot of people rinse their spaghetti. I don't. I've always been told that it takes away the flavor of the spaghetti. So just dump your spaghetti in there. And if you have big chunks of the garlic, you can take that out if you want. Now I'm gonna add this cream sauce right to the spaghetti. And just mix that up. All right, now just add the chicken sausage to the top of that. Then we're gonna add about half of the mozzarella. And the spaghetti sauce. And you know I don't like waste, so I always add a little bit of water, get that last little bit. Then I'm not gonna mix it, I'm just gonna take the prongs of the spaghetti grabber and just kind of push down so that the sauce kind of oozes down in there. All right, now it's gonna go in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes. And then for the last 10 minutes, I'm gonna add the rest of the mozzarella and the rest of the Parmesan. So I'll put it in for about 20 minutes now, and then I'll check it after. If you want to, you could put the mozzarella and the Parmesan on now and cover it with foil and then just put it in the oven for usually takes about 30 minutes that way. But I'm gonna do it this way. I'm not gonna put any foil, put it in for 20 minutes, and then I'll top it with the rest of the cheese. All right, I've had it in there 20 minutes, and you can see it's kind of bubbling. So now I'm gonna top the rest of the mozzarella. And the cheese, whether you put the cheese on earlier is up to you. I don't like mine to have like a burnt on. I just like it to melt just a little bit. That's why I wait till the end. And then this is going to be cut into 12 pieces. So each piece is where the points come in and the calories. All right, that's going back in the oven for about 10 more minutes. And that is what it looks like. So I'm gonna let it cool just for a little bit, maybe like 5 minutes. It's a lot easier to cut into it once it's cooled a little bit. So I'll let it cool for 5 minutes and come back. All right, so I've let it sit for a few minutes, so it should be good now. So now I'm gonna cut it into 12 pieces. So I'm just gonna kind of estimate. We'll cut it in 3 this way and 4 the other way. Now let's see if we can get a piece out. should stay together fairly well. So there you go. So now, let's taste it. I've actually never made it with the chicken sausage before, so I'm anxious to see how it tastes with it. It's good. It's not, the chicken sausage it's breakfast sausage, so it's not like a real spicy sausage like a kielbasa or something, but it's really good. I like it. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new, I hope you'll subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. I'm Kristi, and I'm planning us healthy.